Hello and welcome to the show. Now, taking your first leap into property developing can be daunting. It's a lot of money to spend.
But it can be a risk worth taking if you do your homework.
Yes, and one way to get good value for money is to head down to your local property auction.
You might be able to bag yourself a bargain at your local property auction.
But you do need to stay calm in the auction room, and that's very difficult as the excitement builds.
Did auction fever grab any of today's buyers? Let's see what they bought.
In West Yorkshire, I consider an alternative wall covering.
No matter how quirky it is, I don't think a mouldy wall is ever going to catch on. I mean, I could be wrong.
Whereas in Dulwich, Tommy considers a more down-to-earth alternative.
Yeah, I think it'd be quite nice. So, good night, you.
And finally, Jackie considers living the high life at this West London pad.
I can see a bistro table with the chairs.
All these properties have been sold at auction, and we'll find out who bought them and what they paid for them when they went under the hammer. We're off to West Yorkshire now, and it's close to the historic city of Bradford, where I'm seeking out today's auction lot.
I'm on this fairly quiet residential road, which is close to the historic market town of Shipley, which has a brilliant reputation for restaurants and bars, which we love, to see this 3-bed end of terrace, which came with a guide price of £100,000. Rather overgrown. In fact, it's a bit of a jungle out there. Wish me luck. I'm going in. Inside, lots of patterned carpets. And I like the width of this hall. It's a nice first impression. Not so nice, these black mouldy spots, which are signs of damp, which you would want to see to. It may well be just a case of somebody not having lived here for a long time, but you want to get checked out. Then through to your sitting room, which is a terrific size, as is the front window, which takes up a very large section of your front wall, so the light's just flooding in. You can see outside the world going by. Great. Now, this is a long room. It gets me thinking you could have a wee area for a formal dining area, and then you could have a snug with your big telly. But this is problematic. This is a problem. That's just an area of green mould. You've got your green jungle effect outside. It looks like the jungle's coming inside. But no matter how quirky it is, I don't think a mouldy wall is ever going to catch on. I mean, I could be wrong. It looks so localised, so concentrated, this area of green mould. I wonder if there's been a problem with water coming in, which I will investigate further. But if you do find the source, if you do find that source and the problem, you may be able to fix it. So it may be a case that it looks worse than it actually is. Fingers crossed. Into the kitchen, which is tired. You need a new kitchen suite in here for sure. It's also quite small, which you could keep as is if you want your kitchen to be self-contained and work with what you have. There's about enough room for everything you need. Or you could think about taking down this wall if you like the idea of a more open plan kitchen diner. It's a load-bearing wall, so you would have to consult a structural engineer, and it could eat into a budget. Or you could think about extending a little bit into your back garden that looks like a jungle. You might have to rehome a few pythons, but it could be worth it. I'm upstairs to find that the toilet is separate from the actual bathroom, so there's a wall in between. It was a surprise for me to discover that a lot of people prefer it that way because you don't actually have to wait for someone to come out the shower or the bath so you can use the loo. However, you may want to knock it into one. Then you come to a good-sized double bedroom, continuing the jungle theme with the leafy carpet, really good proportions. Likewise, the second bedroom, fantastic fantastically proportioned. New carpets needed, you might need some new plaster work, and definitely a lick of paint. And then you come to the third bedroom, which is the compromise bedroom. There often is one. It's more of a single, or you could use it as a nursery or perhaps a study. Again, I've spotted some mould. Looks very damp in patches all over this room, but particularly in the ceiling, and I'm wondering if there has been some water coming through. That's something that you want to investigate. Well, I thought the front garden was overgrown, but the back garden is really overgrown. Some of these weeds are taller than me, which I grant you isn't that tall. What it also shows you is that you do have room for a little extension and you would still have some garden area, or you could just make it really nice, pretty with a bit of hard work and have a nice back garden. You also have these sheds, which you could put new doors on, and it's a terrific place for storage. So outside, there really are quite a few pluses.
This property is a little wild, both inside and out. We asked along a local estate agent to get her thoughts on this 3-bed jungle.
Definitely needs work. I would recommend an extension, obviously giving further floor space on the ground floor. It'd make a nice conservatory as well, because the garden's big enough to take either conservatory or an extension.
After a renovation, what resale value could you expect to achieve, with or without an added extension?
Once the property has been renovated up to a nice standard, it could achieve in this current market between £145,000 to £150,000. If there was an extension pot to the rear, the property could easily achieve between £155,000 to £160,000.
And what effect could adding an extension have to the potential rental value?
It would achieve £650 to £700 per calendar month. If the owner is looking to put an extension on there, he could quite easily achieve between £700 to £725 per calendar month.
This house requires a large dose of TLC, and you have to tackle the very obvious problems of mould and damp, and also tame the jungle that is presently your garden. But once you've done that, it really could be wonderful. Let's find out who fancied a walk on the wild side when it went under the hammer.
This property was sold at an online auction, so we can't show you the successful bidder on the day.
Are we done?
And the lucky bidders were Tom and Stephen, who got the place for £100,000. Stephen is a builder by trade and Tom runs a sign and graphics business. This is their third property together.
Tom and Stephen, hello.
Hello, nice to meet you.
Hello.
You too, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You've got yourself a lovely property, albeit you're standing in front of the big bit of mould.
Yes, that is something we did spot.
There's no hiding, is there, from that?
There is no hiding.
No hiding.
We'll come back to the mould, definitely, but tell me a bit about you two.
I'm father-in-law, son-in-law. Unfortunately, I lost my wife at the beginning of last year, and so changed my plans to some extent, so I was looking for something else to do. I have another business. Stephen is in the trade, and, you know, we were just looking for something to...
Just made sense, didn't
Yeah,
it? Really,
yeah.
like, so.
Yeah, I'm really sorry to hear that.
No, it's okay.
So it's been quite a very difficult time for you.
It has, yes.
Yeah, and you've decided, I suppose, you have more time maybe? You wanted
Yes.
something to do?
I mean, the intention was that, you know, well, my wife was retired and I was approaching retirement and, you know, maybe take life a bit easier. But instead, I've kept on the job I was already doing and another one as well. So, you know, that's what, you know, occupies my time now.
And where's the division of jobs and roles here? What do you both do?
Well, Steve does the work, the physical and all that work. I do the paperwork, accounting and supply the money.
Okay, and Stephen, is your background in building?
Yeah, it's what I've done since I left school, really. Just gone sort of from building job to building job and worked up a good sort of trade skill set. So it's nothing phases us.
Well, that's great, because take that mould, for example, it might put a lot of people off, but you've probably seen it before and aren't too phased.
No, not in the slightest, really. The pipe outside's blocked. It's just running straight and over the wall, so easy, really.
So what is the solution there? What do you do?
Well, for this one, we're planning on doing a kitchen extension, so this wall's going to be taken out anyway, so we'll sort of obviously fix the water leak, and when the kitchen extension goes up, all this wall will be gone.
Okay, so a kitchen extension, or actually over the whole of
Over
the
the
back?
whole of the back is what we was thinking, like an orangery type thing, so...
An orangery, eh? Get you.
Yeah, that's us.
Yeah, that is, yeah.
Are you going to be able to extend under permitted development, which means you don't have to seek full planning permission?
Yeah, we're just sort of going down that road with it. If we keep it as an orangery, then it's a simpler route and quicker, really, so...
Are you taking down the wall in between the kitchen and the sitting room, so you're going to have an open plan?
Yes.
Yeah.
Kitchen diner.
There's some bifold doors and...
Ooh!
Yeah, to open up the kitchen and look out in the garden, so
Yeah.
hopefully
You might not want to look out on this garden as it is at the moment.
It's a jungle, isn't
Yes,
it?
quite.
It really is.
It will be sorted, but yes.
Yeah. So how are you going to sort it? Are you going to get people in to cut it down, get a skip? What happens?
we'll be hiring a sort of mini digger and we'll drag all that down out onto the front and just get it picked up with a grabber. So it's a bit beyond going in with a strimmer and a mower, isn't it? So
What about the front garden? Same thing.
Well, we'd like to make some off-street parking in the front because obviously these houses were built at a time when there weren't as many cars around.
Yes.
It would make a big difference.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Talk me through your to-do list here.
upstairs we was just going to reskim all the bedrooms. The bathroom was going to knock the two together and generally just tidy up there.
I did spot at the front bedroom, the smaller bedroom, there's a hole in the ceiling. Have you looked into that?
I have, yeah. When you look through the hole, there's no roofing felt up there, and it looks like the tiles have sort of sagged in time as the fascia boards have rotten a little bit. So we'll be stripping that, refelting, and basically just doing the fascia boards again and the guttering, and making sure it's watertight.
Is this to renovate and sell on?
That's the plan, yes.
How long do you want this one to take?
I'm thinking 4 months.
What's the budget?
30,000 is the budget for this one.
It sounds like you could do everything for that. Definitely.
We're
I'm making a
confident.
really
No,
nice
we're
job.
confident in doing it. That, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're confident doing that.
Yeah. 4 months, £30,000. I think you'll do a great job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's lovely to see Tom and Stephen working together on this as a family project. There is a lot to do, but Stephen, with all of experience, isn't fazed even by that big patch of mould. And they want to take this onto the next level, not just making it a wonderful home, but making it bigger by extending. I think they're going to do a terrific job. Will they do it in just 4 months? There is a lot to do. Go make yourself a cup of tea and you can find out later in the show.
In the centre of London, but it feels like we're apart from London. It's got a sort of a villagey countryside feel to it. And a lot of local people think that's down to the fact that there's no tube station here in Dulwich. Could be right. And the property I'm here to see, it's a 2-bedroom garden flat, and it had a guide price of £400,000. Let's go inside and see what spacious corridor. Polystyrene tiles on the ceiling in here. They're dangerous, fire hazard, they've got to come out. And also that would then reveal that cornice work, which is really nice. It smells badly of damp in here and don't have to look far to see the problem. That's all the fungus growing from the condensation. It's all gone rotten there. And the reason for that is there's not enough air circulation, fresh air. So it needs a couple of permanent air bricks to allow fresh air to come in here and prevent that happening again. These have all got to be replaced. They're past saving. And as for the decor colour, deep purple, I think, is more suited to a rock band than it is to nice, calm decoration. And this is an odd place to put a radiator just by the door. And normally, you'd put radiators under the window because you don't normally have furniture there. And also it allows the flow of air to move from coming by the window and makes the the whole room nice and warm so that the warm air circulates. So that needs to be removed from there, and then want some plastering and redecorating. Then we're down here, the bathroom. There's obviously a problem because the ceiling's dropped. So there's a water leak somewhere from upstairs in the other flat, so that'll have to be remedied before this is repaired. It needs a new bathroom suite, and it's funny the way it's laid out. It probably needs reconfiguring. And what we've got here? Basement space. Now, sometimes you can be really lucky with the basement because it's almost full height, which has to be 2.2 metres. And sometimes you just have to dig out a little bit and tank it, put a membrane down, concrete it. But to use it as a livable room, you have to have natural light from a window. So you'd have to dig out the front and put a window in. But you could use this space here, and this could quite easily be adapted and made into a utility space. Yeah, I think it'd be quite nice. So, good night, you. Right, this must be the main reception room. Oh, that's odd. There's a big copper pipe running along the ceiling. Let me chase it. Oh, yeah, and it runs and goes up. So this pipe on this wall below the ceiling feeds the flat above. So that'll have to be rerouted, and it'll have to go in the ceiling space. That fireplace has got to come out. What's in here? Well, this is the kitchen. It's a galley kitchen, all on one side, and it's well past its sell-by date. That's got to be ripped out and replaced. And I think if this were mine, I would take this wall out and have this as open plan kitchen, dining and living space, all as one. Change the doors, they're cheap doors, put proper doors on, and change this door for a fully glazed one just to bring in a bit more light. Floor covering up right throughout the flat because, yeah, they're all cream crackered.
This flat comes with a full...
The only thing is, this is a shared back garden, so you'd have to work out with your neighbour which part of the garden's yours and which part is theirs. But it would turn either side, it still gives you a big lump of garden space, so you can be creative, and there's always room for a bottle of something sparkling with one or two tinkly glasses. Champagne and candlelit evenings, clinking of glasses and passionate glances, the moments I'll always remember.
Well, that sounds good to me, but there's still a way to go before you can put your feet up and relax with the current state of the flat and the garden. But if you did put in the hard yards, would you be celebrating at the end? Time to find out the thoughts of an estate agent from the auction house who sold this 2-bed flat.
I think it's an amazing property. There's huge potential here. Once it's been refurbished, you know, it's going to be a very desirable property. It's on a lovely road in a very good location, especially with all the outdoor space, the large garden that it's got. I think it will have huge demand when it hits the market.
So if the flat is bought for that guide price of £400,000, what profit could be made once renovated if the buyer sold? And how much could they expect to get if they rented the place out?
So once this property's been fully refurbished and it's been done up to a nice standard, I think it would probably rent for somewhere in the region of £1,800 to £1,900 per calendar month. And for sales, you'd probably be looking at a sale price, depending on the standard you do it up to, of around £600,000.
So, a great flat to go for if you're not turned off by the £400,000 price tag. I know there's lots of stuff to do, but with a bit of creative thinking, some reconfiguration and some really good decorating, this could turn out to be a very profitable venture. And it's in a really sought-after, desirable area. So let's see who wasn't turned off by the challenge when it went under the hammer.
This property was sold online, so we can't show you the successful bidder on the day.
Sold.
The successful bid of £470,000 was placed by AJ. No stranger to the auction house, AJ has several years of property development under his belt. He met Tommy to tell him about his latest purchase.
Well, firstly, AJ, can I congratulate you on your purchase?
Thank you very much.
What did you buy this for? What was the reason?
Just as a project, really. Just do it up and look to either sell it on or rent it out on the market.
Is this what you do for a living?
Yes,
Are you
I
a
do.
builder or a developer?
Not just a developer. I've got a partner that sort of works with me.
Okay.
We do a few projects every year.
And how did you get the bug?
Funny enough, when I was 16, 17, I used to watch this show and always wanted to do up the houses and...
So we inspired you?
Pretty much, yeah, I would say.
Oh, that's
that.
good.
Yeah.
And how has it been so far? Has it been a success? Have you enjoyed it?
It has been pretty good for the last 2-3 years.
Right.
And I like doing this on a daily basis.
So how many a year do you need to turn over, you think?
Well, we are active in every auction, so which is about 10 a year. So just depending on the right deal.
That's a lot of property.
We try to do as much as we can in a year.
Yeah. I think this was wasn't too bad a buy. I mean, the guide price was 400,000.
Yeah.
Which would make a few people wince, but you actually had to pay, was it 470?
470, yeah.
Were you happy with paying that?
Yeah, that was about my limit.
Right,
so I wasn't going to go any further than that, yeah.
Right. And what do you intend to spend as a budget?
Well, currently the budget's around 45 to 50,000.
Oh, so it's a fair budget. What do you intend to do? Can I ask for that money?
We are pretty much doing the whole thing again.
Stripping it back?
Stripping it back on, yeah. And new boiler, new electric, everything brand new.
Will you take that wall out from the kitchen?
Yeah, that's the plan. And make it open plan. Yeah, that's the plan.
Yeah, it needs to, because it's very confined at the moment.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so give it a nice look.
That'll appeal to a much broader audience as well.
Yeah.
You're going to do the garden up nice as well?
We are going to also do the garden up.
Well, the garden might be on the to-do list, but first of all, AJ has to establish which half belongs to his flat. And when it comes to doing the work, he will try to bring in builders he's worked with before.
Do you have any family members involved?
Yeah, my dad's involved as well. And
your dad?
Yeah.
In developing?
Yes, yeah.
Oh, right. Is he experienced?
Yeah, he has a fair amount of experience, so we sort of work as a team.
Oh, that's good. Me and my dad used to work as a team.
Yeah, so can't go wrong with that.
I'm looking forward to how this is going to pan out.
Yeah, well, it's not going to take that long. We're hoping to get this done in 6 to 8 weeks.
But I'll keep my fingers crossed for you.
Yeah.
Because hopefully it all goes really, really smooth.
Yeah, hopefully it won't be too long.
AJ's only 23, but he sure knows what he wants and how to get it. His dad's behind him all the way, and he has a team of tried and tested builders ready to start all the work. Well, what's he going to do? Is he going to sell it or is he going to rent it? And what's it going to look like with all the alterations and all the building work completed? You can find out later in the show.
Coming up, in the West London borough of Hillingdon, this property is missing a few basics.
At the moment, there is no kitchen.
Whereas back in Dulwich, it seems they've opted for a bit more than just a basic refurb.
We went for the high spec in the kitchen and the bathroom.
Back to West Yorkshire now, 4 miles north of Bradford in the market town of Shipley, where we first saw a 3-bed end terrace. Well, I say saw. It was rather obscured by a massive undergrowth that was growing both on the outside and the inside.
This is problematic. This is a problem. That's just an area of green mould. You've got your green jungle effect outside. It looks like the jungle's coming inside, but no matter how quirky it is, I don't think a mouldy wall is ever going to catch it.
They were taking a no-nonsense approach to sorting out that mouldy wall.
What is the solution there?
This wall's going to be taken out anyway, so we'll sort of obviously fix the water leak. And when the kitchen extension goes up, all this wall will be gone.
Okay, so a kitchen extension, or actually over the whole of the back?
Over the whole of the back.
So you're going to have an open plan?
Yes. Yeah.
Kitchen diner?
With some bifold doors and...
Ooh!
Yeah, to open up the kitchen and look out in the garden, so hopefully we...
Might not want to look out on this garden as it is at the moment.
It's a jungle, isn't it?
Yes, quite.
So these two weren't holding back, and with builder Steve earmarked to do the work and Tom keeping an eye on the £30,000 budget, they hoped this would be ready to sell on in just 4 months' time. And now, 6 months on, we're back. Oh, what a difference. You can actually see the house now, and there's some useful off-street parking. All in all, it looks mighty smart from the outside. But what about the inside?
Everything was just taken back. It had to be with the state that it was in, so redo, everything new. Well, we cut the front room down because it came all...
And as for the small bedroom, it's now hole and damp free. But what about the wilderness at the back?
We've done the patio outside, we've done fake grass, we've put a lawn at the back.
To sort of put it onto 2 levels, which was a bigger job than I think we really realised, to be honest, but it's all worked out nicely.
So both inside and out, this house has been given a new start. But who did end up doing the work?
99% me.
I pay the bills and you know, do the paperwork. Now Stephen does all the work, the graft, no question about that.
And my brother as well. He's my sidekick, always there.
Yeah, they work as a team, Stephen and his brother Wayne, and you know, they do a really good job, and I let them get on with it.
Tom still works in his graphic and sign business, so doesn't have time to get his hands dirty. But when it comes to the look and design of the place, Stephen lets Tom have his input there.
Well, we wanted to do a nice high-end finish. We wanted to make this into a really nice family home, and you know, with a modern feel. Because this house, unfortunately, this poor house has been empty for more than 5 years, and it really was sad and dilapidated, and we just wanted to make it into a really nice, you know, the nicest house on the street, really, in all honesty.
Well, certainly one of the nicest, but getting this quality of finish doesn't come cheap.
Yeah, well, I think we set out to spend 30,000, and we've just gone just over 32,000 on this build. You know, that's all the costs. That's everything, including all the, you know, legal fees.
£32,000 on top of a £100,000 purchase price does take their total cost to £132,000. But does the agent who saw it last time think it's money well spent?
Oh, I came the first time, so it was in a bit of a state. One of the walls was green, the outside, the garden was a complete and utter mess. And this time, I'm surprised, it's lovely, they've done a great job on it. They've extended the kitchen, they put a lot of money into it. It's a lovely 3-bed end terrace, you know, it is definitely right for the area.
This is very much a sell on and move on to the next one project. So what kind of returns might they see on their £132,000 investment?
If I was going to put the property on the market on the sale side, I'd be putting it on £150,000 to £155,000.
It's quite low, really, isn't it?
Yes, I think that's a low valuation, I have to say. The agent that we're going to put it on with have put a valuation of it at around 220. We think that's optimistic, I have to say, but, you know, we think it will go for somewhere around 200.
So quite a disparity with the numbers, but if they were to get the hoped-for £200,000 sale price, that would see them make a £68,000 pre-tax profit. And should they ever decide to rent the house out, then the agent reckoned a value of £675 per calendar month, or a 6% yield, would be possible. But for Tom and Stephen, has this one achieved what they hoped it would achieve?
We're very, very pleased with it, and we hope somebody enjoys.
Yeah, we're looking forward to somebody living here, and you know, because it is a nice house and it deserves to have a family living here again.
We're in Sipson, a linear village stretching 3/4 of a mile within the London borough of Hillingdon. Jackie's here to see a property that's an international commuter's dream, as it's right next to Heathrow Airport.
I'm a few streets away from the A4, so there are great road links, as well as all your local amenities, and the airport is close by. But the property I'm here to see is at the end of this close, so it's lovely and quiet with no through traffic. And here it is. It's that 2-bed ground floor maisonette, which had a guide price of £130,000. Let's go take a look. So, well, this is nice. You've got a little porch area, so enough space to put your shoes, your boots, your umbrella, your coats, which is nice, down the hallway. Now, according to the floor plan, this is bedroom number 2. I can see signs of mould, but good news, double glazing, so that's really good. Central heating is there, but it's old, needs to be replaced, like the floors. This is your master bedroom. You've got storage, again, central heating. I can see big signs of mould there as well, but once again, good floors. Then to my left, I've got a really spacious, large lounge. Really, really nice. You've got your separate toilet and your bathroom. Could you merge them together? I don't mind them being separate, actually, and then into the final room, which must be the kitchen, because I can see a washing machine. Now, it's not a bad size. You're overlooking a small bit of garden. You know, perhaps, you know, you have your sink or your cupboards. You could even probably have a breakfast bar there, all of your sort of shelves. It could be really, really nice. But at the moment, there is no kitchen. And that could prove very difficult to get a mortgage.
This property really is a blank canvas, with no structural problems being the main plus. Unfortunately, it just needs everything else doing to it. The separate bathroom and toilet could benefit from being combined to create a better-sized suite. Space is something that the living room has plenty of, along with the beautiful focal point of a bay window. But the bedrooms have seen better days. Once the windows and a new heating system are put in place, the mould should be a thing of the past. The kitchen looks out to the garden, which gives it a homely feel, with plenty of room for your worktops, storage cupboards, and maybe even that breakfast bar. The old water tank and heater will need to be removed and replaced with modern and efficient ones.
Well, so far, I'd say this flat is looking pretty good, but it does come with a bit of a sting in its tail, because it only has a short lease of 41 years. Now, to extend that short lease, that's going to cost thousands of pounds. It's definitely going to be pricey, and you'd have to talk to the freeholder. So I only hope whoever's going to buy this property has factored that into their budget.
Yes, because it can cost several £1,000s, maybe even up to £100,000 on a maisonette such as this. But it will add value back in, so it may just be worth looking into.
Now, this property does come with a little bit of outside space. In fact, it's kind of on a diagonal like that, but there's enough space to park a car, and then you've got all of this. So it's not massive, but, you know, if you cut back all of that hedgerow, you've got enough space to have lawn, patio, maybe some potted plants. It's quite private. I can see a bistro table with the chairs. All in all, this is a bonus.
For a guide price of only £130,000, this maisonette feels like a bit of a bargain, filled with untapped potential. To get an expert opinion, we invited along a local estate agent.
So it's a very quiet street, very family orientated, very close to local amenities, and equally very close to Heathrow.
But what does he make of this currently very bare property?
I think it's a very good start-up property, to be honest with you. You've got 2 good-sized double bedrooms. Equally, you have a decent-sized living room, great potential, good-sized kitchen area, and it's a great stepping stone to get yourself on the ladder.
With all that in mind, what would the potential resale value be once renovated?
If this property were to come to the market in a very good condition, fully renovated, I would put this on the market for £335,000. On the rental side, this property would achieve anywhere between £1,150 to £1,200 per calendar month.
Well, I think this is a decent flat and in a very convenient location. But unfortunately, there's one small problem, or maybe even two, because as well as a total refurbishment, there's also that issue of the short lease to contend with, which will be costly. But who didn't let that put them off? Let's find out as it went under the hammer.
This lot was part of a remote auction with bids taking place online, so we can't show you footage of the successful bidder on the day.
You both so well done.
But going £20,000 over the guide price, the successful bidder was Dee, paying £150,000. Jackie caught up with Dee to find out his plans for this two-bed maisonette.
Well, Dee, it's lovely to meet you. Congratulations.
Thank you, lovely to meet you.
So, how was the auction for you?
Actually, it was my 15-year-old son that I let loose to buy this online, correct?
What? So, hold on a second. Now, this is taking another twist.
Yeah.
Your 15-year-old son was with you and you said to him, go on then.
Yeah, so it was summer holidays.
Yeah.
Carl is his name, and he's taken an interest in what I do. And yeah, I said, right, this is the budget, this is how you do it. He went ahead, and I gave him a budget. I kind of sat in the background. He got it.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So yeah, is that what you hope, that Carl will join you in the business? Or?
Yeah, I mean, you know, for me, this is me, my brother, and my sister-in-law, and yeah, that's the ultimate goal. Okay, you know, what we do, we want to pass on to the next generation.
So that is what you do. Is that what you've always done?
No, I'm an engineer by trade.
Okay.
I was doing this full time for 2.5 years now.
Oh wow.
So yeah, I left that job to pursue this.
So how much did Carl pay, and were you happy with what Carl paid?
Very happy with what Carl paid. Carl paid 150,000 for this.
Yeah.
I gave him a budget of 160, and yeah, it was high fives as soon as the hammer fell.
While this might sound like a bit of a chance letting his son Carl buy the property, Dee was close at hand and had done his research, read the legal pack and knew all about the short lease and what actions he needed to take to get it extended.
So in between, from exchange of contracts, which is the hammer fall, we have to issue a notice to the freeholder. I got my surveyors in prior. They've kind of estimated a price. Now, that goes off to the freeholder, and then there's a process to be followed.
Right.
That process could take up to 6 months. They'll come with a reasonable figure.
Yeah.
And we'll extend the lease and move on.
And so what is the plan for the property?
So, as you can see, look around, it's a full refurb.
Yep.
To the point, all the wiring's got to come out.
Yeah.
Full replumb. You probably can't see here, but there is wallpaper coverings here. So that's the extra work there. Wallpaper's got to come out. Bathrooms, kitchens, everything.
Everything,
Top to bottom. I think the only thing that will stay is probably the windows.
Yeah, it's good that you got the double glazing.
Double glazing and the secondary.
And the secondary.
Because we're so close to the airport, correct.
So you are going to do the full refurb. You talked about high standard. What are you looking at? Are you looking at, you know, sort of neutral tones? Are you going to go a bit sort of monochrome? Are you going to go modern? Are you going to...
No, modern stroke neutral. Most of the fixtures and fittings I've already got. This is what I do. So, you know, as soon as the hammer fell, I'd already started planning. You know, kitchens have been delivered and other bits and pieces are stored away in storage. Hopefully, my guys will start on this in the next 2 weeks.
Wow.
And yeah, and as we go along, you know, I'll decide, right, okay, you know, this room we're gonna do this, and this room we're gonna do that. I'm kind of the project manager. You know, I don't get my hands dirty. I kind of just from the background say this, and I've worked with my guys before. They've done a few jobs for me. So they kind of know what I expect, and I know what they're gonna deliver.
And then what's the time scale then for...
So when they actually get in, 4 weeks, I'm hoping.
4 weeks, Dee?
Yeah, 4 weeks, I'm hoping.
And then what about the all-important budget?
This one's going to probably hit me for about 20,000.
Right.
Which is high.
Is it?
Which is high for me.
Right. Somehow, I think it's going to work because of your experience. And, of course, because of Carl. So, you know, it's really lovely to have a chat with you, and I wish you the very best of luck.
Thank you.
Well, Dee is an experienced property developer, and it's lovely that he's showing his young son, Carl, the ropes. So this shouldn't be a long, drawn-out project for Dee. But with that ambitious timescale of just 4 weeks, will he be able to turn it around? And as for that lease extension, how expensive will it end up being? Well, you can find out later in the programme.
Well, even the most organised projects don't always go to plan, and unexpected things can ruin timescales and budgets.
So, were there any hidden issues with our remaining 2 properties? Let's find out.
It smells badly of damp in here, and don't have to look far to see the problem. That's all the fungus growing from the condensation. It's all gone rotten there, and the reason for that is there's not enough air circulation, fresh air. So it needs a couple of permanent air bricks to allow fresh air to come in here and prevent that happening again. Problem because the ceiling's dropped, so there's a water leak somewhere from upstairs in the other flat, so that'll have to be remedied before. Will you take that wall out from the kitchen?
Yeah, that's the plan. And make your open plan. Yeah, that's the plan.
Yeah, it needs to, because it's very confined
yeah,
at the
yeah,
moment.
exactly. Yeah, so give it a nice look.
That'll appeal to a much broader audience as well.
Yeah.
There was a lot of work needed, but 2 months on and we're back for a look. Rundown bathroom has had a facelift with marble effect tiles and luxury fittings. Special. This really is a stunning open-plan kitchen diner.
To make your open plan, we had to get rid of the stud wall, so we didn't have to take any regulations or any permissions. We went for the high spec in the kitchen and the bathroom, and we also went for sort of matte black radiators, switches and taps to give it a nice colour contrast within the house, and it just looks, you know, modern. And
the inside is looking great, but what about the outside? There were some issues with the layout of the back garden.
Initially, the garden was it wasn't split into 2 gardens because the flat upstairs has their own garden, and so we put a fence around our garden, give it a nice finish, something to enjoy during the summer.
It sure is. What a transformation. AJ originally bought the flat as a project to hopefully sell on or rent. Have these plans changed?
We have actually already put it on the market for $650,000, and we have some offers in place, which we are considering, and hopefully in the next couple of months it'll be sold, so yeah.
A lot of effort has gone into making this flat a beautiful home, but who helped bring it to life?
We had a contractor who did everything, but me and my team, which is my dad and partner, we looked over things, overseed most of the project, and yeah, so we shared time in between our day-to-day stuff to get it done.
But did he manage to stay within his original budget of £45,000 to £50,000?
I believe we stayed around that figure, and which is always good in terms of when you sell the property.
A renovation spend of £50,000 puts AJ's total investment at £520,000. Has his hard work paid off? We invited along a local estate agent to find out.
In terms of the layout, I think that it's the modern way of living, the open plan kind of living kitchen area, 2 good-sized bedrooms to the front of the property, and then easy access into the garden as well for when you're entertaining. I think the way in which they've finished the garden off, I think is really cool. I think that's really going to appeal to a lot of buyers, particularly young professionals looking to stay in the area.
AJ is keen to sell, so how much value has he added to his £520,000 investment?
I would recommend an asking price of £650,000.
Yeah, I think that's about right. That's what we listed for, and the offers are in that sort of range. So I think that's pretty much right on the money.
That could give AJ a pre-tax profit of £130,000. If he chose to put it on the rental market, what does the agent think the monthly rental figure could be?
I would recommend going to the market between £1,800 and £2,000 per calendar month.
I think, around the 2,000 mark is what we were hoping as well if we were to rent it out. But as I said, we have some offers in place, so we'll be looking to sell rather than rent it out, which was, our second option.
That top figure of £2,000 per calendar month would give AJ a yield of 4.6%. So what's next for AJ?
We are looking to sort of get into more ground-up projects, and which is something new to us. We haven't done in the past, so that's something we're looking forward to in the future. I'm taking a small break, looking to go away and come back fresh and ready to go again.
We're back in Sipson, close to Terminal 3 at Heathrow Airport, where Jackie saw a 2-bed maisonette guided at £130,000, which had a few issues.
This must be the kitchen, because I can see a washing machine. Perhaps, you have your sink or your cupboards. You could even probably have a breakfast bar there. It could be really, really nice. But at the moment, there is no kitchen.
And that was one thing that could make it difficult to get a mortgage. But there was another.
It only has a short lease of 41 years. Now, to extend that short lease, that's going to cost thousands of pounds. It's definitely going to be pricey, and you'd have to talk to the freeholder. So I only hope whoever's going to buy this property has factored that into their budget.
It was engineer and property developer Dee who had these obstacles to look forward to. He bought the place for £150,000. Or did he?
Actually, it was my 15-year-old son that I let loose to buy this online, correct?
What? So hold on a second. Now, this is taking another twist.
He's taken an interest in what I do. And I said, right, this is the budget. This is how you do it. Is where people don't open windows or they dry clothes in the house, you're going to get these little mould issues. So here we decided, right, let's put some vents in. Even if there was a previous issue that's hidden, hopefully it won't come back again.
Well, let's hope Dee's right and it's gone for good. But what did he do about that short lease?
There was a bit of to and fro, which the surveyors deal with themselves, but ultimately 66,100. That's a great price to get another 90 years on top of what we had. So on here now we've got 137 years on the lease and 0 ground rent or peppercorn ground rent.
Well, it might have cost Dee a bit of money, but I think it sounds like a decent result. Is Dee's son, Carl, happy with the outcome of his first purchase?
He's seen the progress through. Unfortunately, he's doing his GCSEs. He's been under a bit of pressure, exams the last 2-3 weeks. He's going into mocks. His name's on this one. This is the one he's bought. This is going to be his kind of flagship. This is the first one.
Well, it might have been Carl's first one, but Dee is an experienced hand now. So is he pleased with how his son's purchase has turned out?
Overall, I'm really happy. Compared to what we started with, I'm happy.
And so he should be. He clearly has left no stone unturned in this property. Dee has added new flooring and wall lights throughout. The boiler's been upgraded and new radiators have been added. But who did all the work?
I project manage. Historically, I'd get different tradesmen in, line it all up, one after the other. Materials I'd get in, I don't really leave it to builders because it's what I want to purchase.
With an initial budget of £20,000, just how much did Dee spend in the end?
It's come in at £19,872. And the reason I say that, I'm quite strict with spreadsheets. I know where every single penny's gone. And I do that really because when it comes to, this is my business at the end of the day. When it comes to doing accounts and my accountant says, right, how much did that one cost you? How much did that one cost you? It's there, it's all on the
especially if you're going to be looking to sell or rent, you've got the options of both, and it'll appeal to both markets. Price of £320,000 to £330,000.
With a sale, yeah, you could probably push for more. My strategy is not really sales. It's refinance, move on to the next one.
Or £1,300 per calendar month to £1,350 per calendar month.
Not bad, not bad. So I am considering a long-term let. I've got a very good tenant that's interested at 1375. It's not an agreed set deal yet, but yeah, I'll come back refreshed, and then yeah, we'll pick up a few more stock to work on next year. Kyle will definitely be let loose because he finishes his GCSEs next year, and yeah, I'm going to be definitely keeping him busy.
Have today's stories encouraged you to tiptoe into the world of property developing?
Or perhaps you're ready to sprint full steam ahead.
No matter what your thoughts, we'll be here next time with lots more inspirational stories here on Homes Under the Hammer.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.